Hi, welcome to Las Primas podcast. My name is Gaby.
My name is Fatima, but Gaby calls me fat, so everybody else.
Jesus Christ. Why are you going into it so much?
What's on? Gaby's trying to be really professional right now, and I'm just trying to be like, this is our normal conversations that we always have all the time. Anyways, she calls me fat, so if you hear her call me out fat in the middle of the podcast.
I'm not actually calling her fat. I'm just calling her name.
That's my
Fatima.
Yeah, my name is Fatima. Did I say that already?
You're sick. Get it together.
Let's meditate or something.
Take a breather. Hello? Are you like on something right now?
No, I'm just really awkward.
Can we just do it right? I feel like that was not good. This is going to be used
What's right? What's considered right?
Just hi, welcome to Las Primas podcast. My name is Gaby.
My name is Fatima.
And we're primas.
Somos primas. Yeah, we are actually primas. Gaby's like my older sister. We grew up together.
And you're like the little sister that I never wanted.
And I'm like her little sister that she never wanted.
And I'm your older sister that you never wanted.
I did want an older sister.
Did you actually?
I love having Gaby. I call her mommy.
Which is
I call
quite
her mommy
embarrassing.
because she takes care of me all the time. So
I don't take care of her.
Anyways, this is our first podcast.
So welcome. Thank you so much for checking us out.
I don't do my hair, so don't comment on me.
I didn't either, to be honest. Well, okay, yeah, I did.
Gaby always looks bootylicious.
Oh, you're sick.
So cute.
You're so
Has
annoying.
hose up all on her Instagram.
No, I don't. That is a lie. That is false. Don't go on Instagram.
Anyways, yeah, this is our first podcast. Why are we making a podcast?
Because you said, hey, Gaby, we should start a podcast. And I said, okay. You want to start it? Cool.
Yeah.
So we got everything set up.
So.
And it worked out.
I don't know. We still haven't released
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
I meant like we did have some technical difficulties.
We had some technical difficulties because I am a
bit.
klutz. I don't know anything about technology. And
yeah.
Gaby used to do a lot of vlogging.
Yeah.
And then she stopped because she's a hoe.
I did editing and I really liked it. But yeah.
She's a hoe. So she stopped.
She
had one vlogging video of Mexico that I actually came out in, and she never released it.
I know.
My
I used
heart
to do
was
that a
very
lot.
sad.
I used to take a lot of videos. I love taking videos. I love taking pictures. But yeah, you're right. I used to take videos. I'm
In
like,
Mexico.
in Mexico
Yeah.
specifically because I love Mexico.
Yeah.
But I would say, okay, I'm going to take all this content and then I'll edit it and put it out on YouTube. And I would take all these videos.
And you never edit it.
And I would edit it.
You never put it on YouTube.
Exactly, but I would never upload it because I was never satisfied with like the end result of editing. So I'm like, okay, just hold off.
She's a perfectionist. It's because she's an Aquarius.
But then I started making TikTok videos out of all the videos that I had previously recorded for YouTube videos. So
now Gaby is TikTok famous.
No, I'm not. My grandpa is.
At Adventures of Gaby.
Gabs.
Adventures of Gabs. TikTok.
No, Adventures of Gaby Gabs.
Adventures of Gaby Gabs.
Sick. You don't even know my.
We'll put it on the screen. Follow her on TikTok. My grandpa is the star of her TikTok.
Yep.
And people really love him. So
I love him. Anyways, we have a few topics for today. Just to kind of.
Since it's our first podcast.
Get our first podcast going.
How old are you?
I'm.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm 27, but actually I was called a señora the other day. So I was like, what the? Excuse me.
Okay, they call me young lady at work, so.
Well, yeah, it's better than señora. I used to get that. I used to get like, oh my God, how old are you? And I would tell them my age. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, you look so young. And I'm like, thank you. But now that I don't have braces.
Oh, wait.
I was called a señora at work. And I was like, rude.
So you're saying braces makes you look younger?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. And I do have like a, soy cachetona and.
Are you?
Hello?
You're a beautiful queen.
Just because I'm cachetona doesn't mean I'm ugly.
People love the cheeks.
Which ones? Girl.
They're both bootylicious. Cheeklicious.
But yeah, anyways, so that was.
But before we start saying anything, I did want to say, if you're our family and you're watching this.
This is a disclaimer, is what she's saying. She's trying to do a disclaimer.
This is my disclaimer. If you're our family and you're watching this, and we say something that's not aligned with your values or your ideas, mic drop. We don't care. Mic drop. If you don't have anything nice to say, then just don't say it at all. You know, we only want support and positive thoughts, and in everything that we do in our life. You know, and I did I did block everybody off my Instagram. Literally today, my little cousin texting me. He's like, "Did you block me on Instagram?" Because I wanted to post a photo, and I knew I was gonna get backlash for posting a photo.
So she wanted to post a photo on Instagram.
Steamy photo.
Yeah, it was a sexy little photo, which I loved personally, but.
So I blocked everybody, and I think today I have some family from California visiting Arizona, and I think they all realized that I blocked everybody. So, so sorry about that. If I follow you in the next couple of months, just know I'm over it. Anyways, but yeah, that was our disclaimer. Like, if we are very open about what we want to talk about in our lives, as young adults living in California, what we've been through. And you might not like what we have to say. You might not agree with the decisions we've made, and that's okay.
Because everyone has their own path of life.
Everybody has their own path of life. That's your opinion. And this is our life. So.
Yeah. So originally, like Fatima stated, we're from Tucson, Arizona.
Well, I never stated that. But, okay, Gabby, tell me.
Yeah, you did. No, you didn't.
I said I have, anyways.
Family here in California. Okay, sorry, my bad. So originally, we're born here in Orange County. Mm-hmm. And then our families moved to Arizona, southern Arizona. We were there basically.
We grew up there.
All our lives.
Yeah.
Went to preschool, elementary school,
high school,
middle school, and high school. Some of us went to college. Some of us didn't.
Some of us did go to college and just dropped out.
15 times. Thank you very much. Anyway, beside the point.
Yeah, we grew up
in Tucson. So how was
it
growing up in Tucson? How do you feel like it was?
Uneventful.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, I just feel like I just grew up.
There?
Yeah, like I just did like normal kids. I went to school. I didn't really go out with friends. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like I was listening to a friend the other day, who actually did grow up in Tucson, but she grew up in like the wider high schools,
like Cienega and stuff.
No, I think it was like the Foothills or something like that.
Oh, okay, Catalina.
I don't
Foothills?
remember actually. I don't remember. I don't remember if it was here. I don't know. Anyways, but I listened to like a bunch of other friends talking about their growing up experiences and how they were exposed to like kids doing drugs in the bathrooms. Like she's saying that at her high school they have an issue with
drugs and gangs.
Literally gangs, yeah, but like literally people will have mini bars set up in the bathroom, like selling things to kids, and I'm like, I never experienced that in high school.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't
and I don't
either.
know if it's just because I didn't hang out with that kind of crew, but I never was never offered drugs. Unfortunately,
because I would have said yes.
I was never offered drugs. Like I was never offered alcohol. I was never like out and about at these parties or anything. So I don't know. I think I had a normal growing up experience. I went to school. I played sports. I did good in school. And I went home and I went to church every Sunday and prayed to Jesus.
Oh my God! Remember when we were in Monaguillos?
Yeah. Ugh. I do. Anyways, but how about you? I feel like me and Gabby had a very different social life in high school. I hung out with the nerds, and Gabby was cool.
No, I was not.
Gabby was cool.
I was not.
She was nominated prom queen. Did you get prom queen?
Girl, I didn't even. Oh, it was so embarrassing.
Were you?
No, I didn't. Okay, obviously not.
Nominated
I didn't
prom queen. Like she was cool.
No, I wasn't. That is false.
Like all my friends, like were. Oh my God, Gabby's so cool.
What?
Yeah. Anyways, continue. How was it for you?
So, I mean, I feel like I was involved in a lot of things, but a lot of my friend groups, I had been friends with them from either, it was mainly elementary school from middle school, because elementary school, they all went to like a different middle school. And since we moved from that neighborhood, we ended up going to a new middle school, which is Lawfer. Mm-hmm. And then I did have my first 6th grade year. I don't think I had a lot of friends because I was like new to that. It was the same district, but it was new to the area. So everyone knew each other from Craycroft.
Oh.
So I actually had no friends, I think.
You didn't go to the New Gallego?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I did.
Too old for that. No, I didn't. So I didn't get that. But anyway, so 6th grade, I do remember that I had a hard time finding friends. And then I got in Avid, and a lot of my friends were from Avid. And then 7th and 8th grade, then I found like a group of friends, mm-hmm. and they were my friends throughout high school. Mm-hmm. Why are you laughing, bitch?
I'm just staring at your beautiful face.
You're sick. What is it?
Nothing.
I ate a sandwich before this because I was really hungry. Anyways, but yeah, so a lot of my high school friends, like a lot of the guys specifically, mm-hmm. were from middle school. So like junior,
It
Arturo.
wasn't for me. Like, for me, it wasn't like that. Like, I had friends in... No, when I went from middle school to high school, my best friend in middle school was Rachel, remember? She was, like, super tall, and I was, like, super short, so we were, like, a weird BFF duo. She went to San Miguel.
Oh,
So
which
when
is
I
a
went,
private
yeah,
high
private
school.
high school. So when I went to Desert View, like, it was fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like,
so
I had to make new friends.
basically, your high school experience was already my middle school experience.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. And then, so throughout high school, I felt... So it's weird because in the movies, you see, like, cliques and things like that.
I thought that was a thing. I say there were definitely cliques.
In my experience, was that there was no cliques in my high school.
Because she was in all the cliques because
No.
she was cool. Yes.
Stop saying
She was
that.
cool. So he was like, no, you were like in all the cliques. You were in Avid.
I
You were, like,
wasn't
in
in-
the Spirit or whatever. Like those. What is it called?
Avid?
No, the ones where they do all the social events.
I wasn't in that.
What is it called?
Student council?
Yeah.
I wasn't in student council. But thank you for thinking that, queen. Anyways, no, so my experience was that there wasn't any cliques in high school. Like, everyone talked to everyone, and you were just, like, friends here. Like, there was people that you were closer to, depending, like,
No.
what you do. And then you just, like, kind of know everyone because you're with them for 4 years.
Well, I do think it was you kind of know people, but I do think there were cliques. If you're watching this and you think you went to Desert View and you think there were cliques, let us know. I think there were. Gaby said
I
there
feel like
wasn't.
there wasn't any.
I do think, like, I don't think there was any, like, rivalry between cliques or
Right.
anything. And we did know, like, other people. But I do
And you were
think
just cordial with everyone. It wasn't
Yeah.
like, because I feel like in the movies they make it seem like cliques are a bad thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're the mean girls and the popular kids
Yeah.
and this and that. When in, like, that's not really how it is in real life. Like, everyone is pretty.
we were nice. Well, in our school at least.
Yeah, and my school.
So
at least.
I don't know how it is nowadays.
Yeah. So
And again, this was Arizona, like, very small town vibes. I feel like it's definitely different here in California.
So I was actually talking to my dentist about this. She's from some part of Arizona, but she was like, oh, where are you from? And I told her I'm from Tucson. And she's like, oh, that's like a really big city, right? And I'm like, that's weird that you say that because I always felt like
I thought everybody
it's such
says
a
that
small
too.
town.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, that's like, I think the second biggest
I say that
city.
too. I'm like, oh, it's when
Oh.
people ask me where I'm from, Tucson, it's a small town. They're like, oh, Tucson, is it small? Like, oh, I've been there. Like, they know about it, you know? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Going back to my high school experience. Basically, my high school experience was really good. And yeah, that was it. I did sports.
When did you move to California? How long ago? How long has it been now?
Now, in September, it will be 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, 5 years. I
And
moved
you
here.
still have Arizona plaques?
I do. And I still have my Arizona driver's license because that shit does not expire until 2065. So
Okay, so what made you decide to move out here? Once you were already in Arizona and you're living your life, right? You were working, you had your friend group over there, you
Yeah.
were doing things on the weekend. Like, what was it that was like, oh shit, I want to move to California? Like, what was it?
So
Tell me.
wow.
I want to know.
Yeah, just get emotional, start crying.
Yeah, I was
I am a crybaby. I'm a
crybaby.
crybaby. Yeah.
She's a
yeah.
crybaby. So.
Yeah. So actually that's a really good question because I don't think I really tell people this. I always tell them like the surface end of like, oh, I just decided to one day and I did it.
Yeah.
But I actually helped a customer. I was helping a customer and I was helping her transition her finances to our establishment. And she had just moved from West Covina, but she's a retired lady. So she was older. She's moving. She was telling me her life story. And she told me, she's like, why is someone so young like you here in Tucson where there's nothing? It's for old people.
I don't think you've ever told me this.
I don't think I've ever told anyone. You should move to California. And I said, I've always wanted to move to California. It's always, it's really expensive. It's not affordable. I can't live by myself, whatever. And she said, and so what? That's the part, like, that's the experience. Like, you want to go live your life, experience it. She's like, I loved living in California. And she went through all these struggles. And she said, you could do it. And I was like, oh. Literally that day, I started looking up my position in here in Orange County. And I found 2 locations that were close to my uncle's house. I don't know why. I was like looking for areas around the familiar areas.
What you know.
So I literally looked up 2 positions and I applied to them that day. And that was just the day. And then I went home and I talked to my mom and I said, hey, like, I really want to move to California. Because I've always wanted to, but I've always like gave myself the excuse, like, you can't, like, it's not affordable. Like, you're not going to be able to make it. You don't really have people you can rely. Well, you have your family, but at the same time, like, I don't want to be a burden in my family.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyways. And she was like, okay, well, if it's something you want to do, you know, if you believe it's going to make you happy, then do it. And then
And you did it.
And then like a week later, I got a call back for an interview. And we actually came together to California that time. You guys came with me. You, Toots, and Sarai. They called me up. They said, you have an interview next week. So I ended up telling my job. Obviously, they know because it's the same company. And they gave me the time off. We drove over here. They were with me. I came to my interview. And whatever, spent the weekend. Went back. Like two weeks later, they called me and they said, okay, you're hired. When can you start? And I said, give me 2 weeks so I can get my 2 weeks notice at this position. And they said, perfect. So I didn't have where to live. I didn't have anything set up, but I was just like, at least I have a job. I can get started there. And I actually looked up a place. My sister gave me this app. It's Trulia, where you can look up, kind of like Zillow, where you can look up places to live. So I found this really like nice house in a really like nice area. And I was like, let me go check it out.
Well, we were here, right?
Yeah, when we were here, yeah. And Sarai, your sister, she went with me. And we went and looked at it and I was like, oh my God, this is like perfect. You know, you're renting with people. But I was like, this is like great. It's a nice area. I'm going to feel safe.
It's kind of affordable.
It's gated. At that time, it was more affordable. Yeah. And so I told her, I'm like, I'm interested. I gave her the deposit and everything. And she said, okay, when are you going to come in? And I said, I can move in September 3rd. But this was like mid-August and she was looking for someone. I think she might have thought that I wasn't really fully committed and she wasn't sure if I was going to go or not, even though I was like, yes, as long as I get this job, I'll be there. So it ended up working out. And so, yeah, I got the job. I got the house. And then 2 weeks later, I packed up my car, anything I can put in my car. I literally packed it up. The next morning I woke up and I drove myself to California. And I actually vlogged the whole experience.
And you never posted it on YouTube.
And I never posted it. Yeah. But that was my whole experience. Why did you decide to move to California?
Gabby told me. That's it. Gabby told me it because mommy told me. No,
Why?
Because I'm thinking. I'm not dumb. I'm just thinking. Anyways, no, for me, I was already kind of like working, right? I had a good position in Tucson. I was still doing my master's, but I think I had just broken up I had a really like toxic breakup, right? So there was nothing holding me back in Tucson anymore. My dog had passed away. That was like another thing that was holding me back. My dog passed away. I had a really bad breakup. And I remember we were here. I think we came for 4th of July.
Okay.
We were here for 4th of July, and then you and I went to go work out at 24 Hours.
Oh,
right? Remember?
yeah.
We woke up really early and we went to go work out, and the guy didn't want to let me in because I didn't have a California license.
Yeah.
Anyways. And on the way back, I was driving down with my windows down. I love to drive with like the windows down and my music blasting, and I was like, oh, it's so peaceful. I thought I had something on my shirt. You can edit that out, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, so I was just driving back and I was like, this is nice. Like, it's so fresh. Like, this is like, I don't know. I just felt like a good vibe. That was July, right? So I went back and I remember the job. I was interning at a company and I was like, it was the first time I was in this kind of position and it was stressful. It's like a stressful job, right? And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this the rest of my life. It was just a lot. So I remember I was like, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing before. I was working in a research lab before. And I started looking for jobs in California for doing research. And there's so many. And it would have been like a 50% pay cut, right? And nothing was sticking. Just nothing was sticking. It wasn't working out. And then that company that I was with offered me to stay on as a student contract worker. So I stayed on for another 6 months.
But that was while you were going to school, right?
I was going to school. I had started that student position with them. I couldn't stay with that group because I needed a PhD to stay with that group, and I did not want to get my PhD. So I don't know. I was just like living life in Arizona, and there was nothing
exciting.
There was nothing exciting. I just wasn't satisfied with what I was doing. I had moved out already. I was lonely. Like I was struggling a lot. And And you just kept telling me, like, come to California, like, there's nothing there, like, just come over here, like, we can make it work or whatever. And I was applying to all these clinical research positions, and I wasn't getting anything. And eventually I started applying for positions that were related to what I was doing at that time. Because I was like, okay, like, I started picking it up, and I was like, okay, this is not too bad, like, this is easier. And I got a job. And I remember I didn't tell anybody. Every time I would get an interview, I would tell you, I was like, yeah, like, and nothing would happen. This is why anything that I'm doing in my life, I don't tell people. I don't know.
So you think I was giving you bad vibes?
No, I don't think you're giving me bad. It's just like.
But you don't like to
me.
say it before.
Yeah, I like to
like jinx it.
I like to whatever I'm working on, whatever good things are coming into my life, even bad things. Like I like to keep things to myself. So I had applied for this position out in LA, and I was like, okay. I was like, it's only LA's not that far from Orange County. I was like, I'll be fine.
Psych.
And I had a phone interview, and like literally he told me at the end of the interview, like, yeah, we're gonna expect a call from HR. You're hired or whatever. And I remember songs to me have such like deep meaning. And I remember I was driving home that day, like after getting the offer from my other job. And I was like, damn, like I'm gonna go home right now. I had just moved back in with my parents because I had already had in my mind that I was gonna move out to California. I was like, I'm gonna go home right now and like tell my parents that I got a job offer in California, you know. And it was such a good offer because it was like a 50% increase from like what I was, you know. And I was like, I literally in a span of a year, I went. How do you do that?
What?
I don't know how to do the math.
I don't understand what's happening.
I don't know. I'm trying to calculate my salary increase in a span of a year. Anyways, so I was like driving home on my way home, and this song comes on, and it's like a slow song, and it's just talking about how you're doing things for you, and I don't know, that really hit me because I don't want to
because it like made sense.
Yeah, I was seeing someone at that time, and things had fallen off right, like literally the day before, and then the next day I got a job offer, and I was like, this is just meant to be, right? Like everything is just lining up so perfectly for me to move to California.
Just do this, yeah.
And so I did, and I gave in my 2 weeks too, and I had 2 weeks to find a spot, and it was a little bit harder for me because I didn't know the area. So they just said in the job posting, it just said LA. It was like in Buffalo, Egypt, LA. Like it was on the other side of LA. So it's like a good 2 hours from here, like with normal traffic and stuff. So I didn't know the area. So I just did a bunch of research, and there's a lot of scams out there.
Yeah.
And I ended up moving to one spot. Then I moved to a different spot. So I'm in my third location now since moving to California. I moved like a year and a half ago. My parents they were supportive, but they weren't happy that I was leaving.
What? So they weren't not supportive?
They were supportive. But they weren't happy that I was leaving. Yeah, like my mom didn't want me to leave. And I was like, it's okay. Like I'm doing this for myself. Like this is for my career growth. Like it was a good opportunity. It was a huge salary increase. Yeah. I was like, I can always come back. You know? So Sari moved out here with me. Me and Sari packed up my car.
Oh, she helped you move. Okay. I was like, Sari did not move here.
No, she helped me move out here. Yeah. And I took her to K-Town afterwards because she wanted to go to K-Town.
That was her payment?
Yeah, that was her payment. I took her to K-Town and bought her food. Yeah, and we've been here since. I'm still at the same company, doing the same job.
I think that, like, I'm not doing the same job, but yeah, I'm still at the same company. I will die with this company. I'm just kidding.
I moved out here 5 years ago, and I moved out here a year and a half ago now. And do you want to move back?
Honestly, so I've thought about moving back. Sara asks me all the time. Sara's our cousin. And she'll tell me, like, when are you moving back to Arizona? And I'm like, I love California. I really do. But I think about my future and how I want to buy a house. And I feel like I can't afford a house here. I will, though. I'm going to manifest it.
We're a manifesting queen.
But that's the only thing. If I could afford a house here and it was a little bit more affordable, then I would definitely stay here for the rest of my life.
Why?
I don't know. So remember when we drove to Arizona?
I was going to say, I was like, when we drove to Arizona, one, we made a really cute reel. We stopped at the Arizona side, and that was nostalgic for me. But on the way back, you were driving back, and you were like, oh, I'm so happy to be back. Like, once we got to, like, California
literally, as soon as we crossed the border from Arizona to California, I'm like, thank God,
we're back. Were, like, happy. You were like, I just feel so much peace just, like, driving on the California. I was like, girl, driving on the California freeways gives me anxiety.
Yeah. When we went to Arizona, I just feel like very stressed out about it, even though I've only gone for like day trips just to see when literally I've only gone back twice, and it was to see my grandpa when he was there.
See, I go back all the time.
Yeah, I know.
And this last time that I went back, that feeling you get in California, I felt that in Arizona.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be like, I can just walk into and I don't know if it's because you live in Orange County and I live in LA, that it's just it is a little different. LA's ugly. Do not come for me. LA's ugly. sorry. But yeah, when I was back in California, in Arizona, I was like, oh my God, it's so peaceful. Like, I can just walk into a grocery store and not be struggling to find parking and like a bunch of people everywhere, so much noise everywhere. So I felt peaceful. And for a minute, I was like, I should just move back. Like, let me just finish out 2 years at my job. I'm like, let me just move back. But then I come to California. When I came back, I was like, but I do like it out here. Like, I do like that there's things to do. The weather's nice.
Yeah.
Even though I live in the valley, and the valley gets freaking hot. It's been like 100 plus.
Well, same here, but I think it's just the weather itself.
Down here in Orange County, I think it's a little less hot than the valley. But, but yeah, so I'm kind of mixed. I really don't know if I'm ever going to go back. I really don't know if I want to settle down here.
You're okay right now.
I'm okay right now. I don't know if I want to get up and move to Chicago. Like, I don't know. So right now, I'm comfortable in my job, and I love my boss and my team, and I'm still learning a lot. And yeah, you don't like miss your family?
So, not my family necessarily. Oh wait, what do you mean? Like my media family? That's how I was thinking.
Everybody.
Well, okay, so
I'm just kidding. Your immediate family, you don't miss them?
So when I first moved out here, I was like, dang, FOMO. I have FOMO on about everything.
The thing is, you also had a really big friend group back in Arizona.
Yeah.
That's something I never like had.
Yeah. I had a bunch of girlfriends. We were a group of girlfriends, and I was really, really close to them. And they were like, they were my BFFs. Like, literally, I would cry when they would leave me out of things.
Because she's a crybaby.
Because I'm a crybaby. Yeah. But I was like, why do I get so emotional about my friends? But it was because they were like my other family. Like when I didn't have my immediate family, like I had my girlfriends I could go to, right? So when I left, I absolutely missed that the most, was like, I don't have my girlfriends. But then I always thought about it like, oh, it's just like a year. It's fine. Everything's going to be normal. Everything's going to be the same. But then I started realizing like, no, it's not. They don't message me anymore. They don't even try to make an effort to see me when they come. So I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm not as
close to them. You're not that close to them anymore.
No, actually.
All of them, at least.
Right. Not all of them. Like Daddy still is like the number one person, like hits me up all the time. And I really appreciate it. I really, really do. It like makes my heart warm. And Belinda's another person who every time she comes to California, she's like, hey, I want to see you. Can you hang out? Whatever. Even if it's just for like a night drive. Like last time we did that, and she has kids. So I understand that people's lives change. But everyone else really doesn't hit me up anymore, which I used to like. It used to break my heart, but then I got over it. But hold on, let me answer your question. So for my family, I don't miss them because you're sick. Shut the
You're sick.
Because here's the thing with my mom, I feel like we're better when we're apart.
I feel the same way
because and I see her when we go to Mexico. Like when I go to Mexico,
once a year.
Yeah, you're right. Once a year. My girl, that's enough. I just kidding. But what I'm saying is like, it's not like I never see her. Like I do see her. I constantly FaceTime her. So like, I think that's probably why I don't miss her as much. But yeah, sometimes I did feel very lonely, and I'm like, I have literally no one. But I've always felt like I try to keep my very emotional, but I try to like internalize my emotions a little bit. So it's like, well, it's whatever. Jasmine, I call her all the time. Diego, we stopped being best friends.
Well, let's not talk about Diego. That's another story.
We stopped being besties, but
that's a different issue.
So yeah, I don't really like miss them, Dominic and Damien. God damn, let me tell you.
I miss my family. Book them, book the kids.
Like them kids. I'm just kidding. Dominic and Damien, I have just enough of them when we go to Mexico. I actually really love being in Mexico when they're there. This past time they weren't there, but I mean, Damien was, but Dominic wasn't. But I feel like that's why I don't miss them.
I do. I do.
I cry every night.
I do.
Which is weird because you were not living at home for a little bit.
I was never living. Yeah, I moved out at 18. I also have a better relationship with my family when I'm not living at home.
Yeah, I agree.
I have definitely had my issues with my mother.
Our mothers are sisters, so.
Nah, me and my sisters get along pretty well.
No, our mothers are sisters.
Oh, our mothers are sisters, and they're right next to each other.
Which is why we're sisters. Just kidding.
And they're right next to each other in the
same
list
neighborhood.
of 16.
Yeah.
So,
your mom is my hero.
Yeah, that's for another story. My mom is
literally.
You know who's my hero?
My mom?
No.
Who?
Araceli.
Oh yeah. So why do you miss them then?
Oh, I get really lonely.
Okay.
Isaiah and Santi, they're like, hi, you want to come over for tortas? And I'm like, no, that's a 2-hour drive for me. I can't come over for tortas. Well, you come over all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Versus me, I can't. And I think it also impacts both of my sisters are both in South Korea, so the time difference is very off. So it's not like we can just chit chat throughout the day.
What about your friends from Arizona? Do you miss them?
I have one. What friends? Literally what friends? I think for me it was kind of hard because all of college I had a boyfriend, and all our friend groups kind of overlapped. And again, like my mom was very strict with me, so I never went out. Like I never socialized with people. So I've learned to be alone. But so I don't think there was anybody in Arizona at that time that I was like super close to, like you were with your friends. Because again, like I had the entire college, like growing up, I had a boyfriend, and then I went from one boyfriend to another boyfriend, so I never really had that time
she should, queen.
Oh, we don't talk about the second boyfriend.
Oh yeah, you're right. Fuck, I forgot about that.
Anyways, so I do miss him. I think because I am lonely in LA, like I can go a whole day not talking to anybody. But I think it's important that people know how to be by themselves, because it's part of growing up, right? Yeah. It's part of, you can't do everything. Like I think about it sometimes, like, oh, I want to go out to eat to a restaurant. I'm like, who am I going to go with? Well, no one is in LA. Like no one is around here. Like I just go by myself. You know,
you do activities by yourself. And that's what I started doing too when I first moved here, because I didn't have, it's a lot harder. What I noticed for me personally is when I moved here, I didn't know anyone. Yeah. Anyone but people from work. And then I didn't want to be like friends with my customers because I thought that was kind of weird. So I'm like, literally the only friends that I can have are my work friends. And then you're seeing them 24/7, 7 days a week. Well, 6 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever. But you're seeing them for such a long time. You're like, in the weekend, you don't want to also spend time with them. And sometimes you would. You go out with them, shake your ass. So then I started trying to do activities by myself as well, which I started going hiking. But I was doing more. I used to go to the beach so much by myself. Not like going out to eat. Like, yeah, I would go get an acai bowl and take it to the beach and be by myself. And I was totally cool with that.
I've definitely sat at a restaurant by myself.
Absolutely not. Because I will see you and I will be like, oh my God, pobrecita. Like, she's by herself. Why? I have gone to the movies by myself, though.
And I'd be like, oh my God, pobrecita.
I had no one that wanted to go with me to watch that movie. So I was like,
wants to go to me sushi. No, honestly, like I have sat, but a lot of the time when I go to sushi places, I'm sitting at the bar, and a lot of the time I go, there's people there by themselves too.
Yeah, so because it is normal, I guess.
Fuck you. Okay. But yeah, I'm really lucky that one of my friends from college, a good friend from college, moved out here too. He moved out here like 6 months before I did. And then he was out here in Orange County. Columbus? Yeah, Christopher Columbus. He was out here in Orange County, and then he moved to LA, so we were even closer. So we've been hanging out a lot. So, and my mom does yell at me. She's like, you're just going out, you're spending your money going out, drinking, this and that. But I'm like, compared to last year, I was really lonely last year. And I think I was still getting used to the fact that I was lonely all the time. I couldn't just go to I could just come over here on the weekends, but it's a long drive for me. Yeah. And this year that I think I'm a little bit better, and I have people that I can go to. You know, if I want to do this kind of thing, I go to this person. If I want to go out drinking, I'll go to this person, you know. So that was a struggle for me moving out here. I guess getting used to the loneliness. Honestly, I needed to get away. I needed to increase the distance between me and that person. Yeah. So there was no way that we could
fall into the trap again.
Well, yeah.
Or into the cycle.
A toxic cycle.
And that's why I was like, baby, you can come through.
Yeah. Sleep on my floor. We can cuddle.
Ew. Anyways, moving on. So, yeah. So that's how, I mean, like, I do miss some parts.
I forgot we were talking about that. Can I tell you something?
What?
On Wednesday night, I had a dream that I was in California. I was like in San Francisco for some reason.
We are in California. Hello.
I was in San Francisco, and my parents were coming to visit me, and I was super excited because my parents were coming to visit. It was weird. Me and Lourdes were in California, and our parents were coming to visit us, and oh my God, I don't know if I want to say this. And
You were married?
no, so they were coming to visit us in California, and we were tracking their location on the phone.
Us as in me and you?
Me and Lourdes.
Oh,
Me and
okay.
Lourdes were living in SF.
Lourdes, your sister?
Yeah, and we were tracking them on the phone, and they were like, "Oh my God, they're right down the street. They're at a park." So I remember we were driving this weird van. So we went to the park, and they were there. They were walking around, and it was like my parents and my other sister, my grandma, my dad's grandma, my dad's,
Your dad's mom? Is
my
she
grandma
alive?
was there too. No.
Oh, she passed away.
And I remember just like running, get off the car, like running to them, and like hugging my dad and my mom, and I just started crying.
Yeah? Because you missed them then. Wow, that's interesting. I'm like, fuck them kids. I'm living my best life here. Wow. So I think that definitely symbolizes something. If you're having dreams about it too, do you have a really like close relationship with your dad? Interesting.
No.
But do you think that it's because you are like missing his father figure?
I think it's because the day before I had like gone through something.
Uh-huh.
And I literally, like you said, you pray to God, right? And I was like praying to, I was like, what the heck? Like everything that I'm doing, like some stuff just doesn't work out for me.
Some stuff just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I was like, it's not, why isn't stuff, the things that I want not working out for me, right? So I was like praying, I was like, it's just like, I guess praying. And then that night I had a dream about my family, you know, and the love that I have for them.
Uh-huh.
So I woke up. I woke up and I was literally crying in my sleep.
Yeah.
I was crying in my sleep, and I woke up.
Like you woke up to yourself crying.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't have to worry. Like, I guess dating is rough in LA, right? So that's what I was like thinking about the day before. And I was like, I was like, why do I care so much about dating, this and that? Like, I have my family, and that's all I need.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the fact that they've been in Mexico for like 2 weeks and I haven't talked to
You
anybody,
miss
right?
them?
Yeah, I do miss them. Like,
Yeah.
It's rough. Like when my sisters first went to South Korea, I was like feeling really sad for them because I was like, this is the first time they're going to be alone. They're going to be not with family. And I got sad for them because I knew how it was for me.
Yeah.
It was really
But
sad.
the thing is, at least they have each other. The thing that's different, I understand that they're in a whole other like country. I get that. And they're so far away and it's harder to get to them versus you. But you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Like at least they have each other. They might not be living in the same
It's
city.
the same thing though. It's literally 2 hours for them to get to
each other?
Yeah, it's like the same thing of me coming here to Anaheim.
Oh, wow. Interesting. But they spend every weekend together.
Not every weekend.
No?
No, because it's the same thing. Sadie, like Kate's driving, going to Seoul. But yeah, so I do miss life. I don't know why. And I honestly don't know why because we had, like, they get on my nerves. Like, after we were in South Korea for a week.
I was like, I'm over it.
I was like, I'm done. Like, I need to get away from these people. These people are crazy, right? But then I have, I don't know. I guess I do get sentimental sometimes.
Yeah. And it's because you miss them, and that's fine.
Yeah, but I'm like, what do I miss? I literally go home
I
to
miss
visit.
my mom yelling at me.
I miss my mom telling me that I'm fucking up my life.
I miss my mom calling me a hoe.
Yeah, but like I go home and I'm bored. I'm like, what the heck? I'm not even doing anything here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know if it's. Yeah, I really don't know. Some therapist is out there wants to psychoanalyze me. Let me know. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever cried for my family TH. I cried when me and Diego got in a fight because he was my best brother. He's my only.
Yeah.
But I've never cried other than that. I've never been like, oh my God, I miss Jasmine so much.
It's so crazy. This is the third time that I have had a dream of my family and like something's going on in the dream and like I wake up crying. And yeah, so
I've had a dream
attached.
similar to that, but it was definitely not about my family. It was about someone else.
Who?
And I dreamt that they died, that they were murdered, and then I just woke up crying. But that's because I watched too many crime shows.
You do watch crime shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they can always come visit. Shit.
Literally, my sisters moved to South Korea. The next month, my mom was planning a trip to South Korea to go see them. And I'm like, Mom, I've been in LA for 6 months and you have not come to see me. Like, you have not come to visit me.
I'm not going to lie. I definitely think your sisters are your mom's favorite. Because hear me out. Fatima, for whatever reason, she's talking to her mom, and she's so annoying when she talks to people. Hey mom, hey mom, hey mom, tell me you love me, or whatever the hell you tell her. And she goes, I love you, tuti sarai. You're like, mom.
We were literally on FaceTime yesterday. You talking about yesterday? Yeah, we were on FaceTime. And then we're all on FaceTime. My sisters are in South Korea. I'm in here in California, and they're in Mexico. My mom is literally directing her questions, her comments to my other sisters.
And Fati is answering, and your mom like dismisses the fact that you just answered.
Yeah, like
Saray, tutis.
Literally, I did call her out on it, so she's been better.
Oh,
I did.
So it did hurt your feelings. It was hurting your feelings.
No, it doesn't. I don't think it hurt my feelings, but I was just like, "Geez, mom, like thanks."
Why are you so rude?
But yeah, so I did call her out. And yeah, so now she blows up my phone all the time.
Oh, love that for you.
Yeah.
And then also, love the fact that you're how old?
I'm 26 and my mom still tracks my location. And even when I'm just driving down to the grocery store, she's like, Fatima, where are you going? ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? ¿Por qué no estás en la casa? ¿Qué estás haciendo?
One morning, I woke up. There was a bunch of missed calls. And I woke up. My tias were blowing up my phone. And I'm like, what is happening? So they're like, Gaby, Fatima's missing. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's missing? Hello? And I literally got so freaked out. I was like, what are you talking about? So I immediately started tracking her because I have her on Find My Friends. I started tracking her, started texting her. I blew her up, like called her 50 times. And she wasn't answering. So then I went to her Instagram. I was like, who are her roommates? Totally forgot her roommates' names. Actually, this day, I don't remember your roommates' names. But I ended up connecting with Christopher. And somehow, I don't even remember how I did it. Basically, I friend requested Chris, and I was still blowing up Fatima's phone because I was like, I see that she's there. I screenshot it and everything. I was like, she's here, but she's not answering me. She's probably asleep. I ended up calling until someone answered, and then he goes, I'm the Uber. This girl left her phone in my car. And I was like, that's my cousin's phone. She needs it. He said, okay, well, I'm in this location. So then I'm like, okay, how the fuck am I getting in contact with Fatima? So then my aunt messages me and is like, hey, Fatima got in contact with her mom that she lost her phone. And I said, okay, I need that phone number that she used to call her mom. I need that number. So they were able to send it to me. And then I called Fatima. I said, hey, Fat, your phone is here. I'll send you a screenshot or whatever. Your phone is here. You need to go for it. And she did. And
I live in the Valley again, and my phone was in Torrance. If you don't know, that's like 40 minutes, an hour away.
Which is close to Huntington Beach.
Yeah. So my mom was like freaking out, like, what the heck is she doing in Torrance? But anyways, like I said, my mom tracks my location. Yeah, so I went out for a girls' night, and on the Uber on the way back, I had ordered the Uber on my phone. So I had my phone out. I fell asleep on the front seat. like literally, me and the girls in the back, like, we were all knocked out. It was like 4 a.m. We were like, And when I got up, I forgot my phone there. I forgot my phone on the seat. And then I immediately remembered. I was literally walking in, and I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, my phone. And I went back out. I thought my roommate was getting the Uber or something. She was calling my phone to see if the Uber would answer.
Yeah.
He had just left, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And I was not in the capabilities to drive, so I slept, and I used my roommate's phone to track. You said,
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out in the morning. And I used her phone. Before I would hide my location, I would say that I'm at home. But after that happened twice, I lost my phone twice going out. Now I was like, I can't do that anymore. I was like, I'd rather just tell her I'm out shaking ass at the club.
I'd rather just be sincere about it.
Yeah, I was like, let me just tell her I'm shaking my ass at the club, and then rather than losing my phone and then not having the tracking capabilities on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah.
All right, should we wrap it up for the first part? Minutes. I think we should wrap it up for the first part and then move on to the second part, and we'll talk about the second part. So I think this is going to be our first part because we did talk quite a lot. The camera has actually stopped recording for a little bit, so we took a little pause and then came back.
I can't believe in the beginning of this podcast I said Gaby was a crybaby, and I ended up crying.
That's right, bitch. That's right. Instant karma. So anyways,
that's how we moved to California.
Yeah, that was our experiences of moving to California, how it's kind of been.
I feel it's very basic overview because I could go on and on and on about
same
how lonely I am.
Just how depressing it is to be by yourself.
I just want to end this podcast on a good note.
Wait, hold on, we're not done.
Oh.
What the fuck are you doing? You're sick. You're sick. Get off of me. Anyways.
And this is why I cry about missing my family, because Gaby doesn't give me affection.
Do not put this on me. Anyways, so we're going to do a 2-parter just because it is pretty long. So this will be the first part, and then...
And we'll talk about our bad dating experiences in California next.
Yeah.
Because I have dated.
And I have not. Just kidding. I have.
Thank you for listening to the Let's Be Much podcast. We hope to see you in the next one.
Listening and watching. Please make sure to subscribe.
Subscribe. Gaby, can you stand up so you can show your ass so people will subscribe?
You're rude. Anyways, you can follow me on Instagram. My name is Gabs Delgadillo, and Fatima is under
F Gomez 23.
But if you see her cute little photo, make sure to put fire emojis on it because she looks so good.
Please go comment on my thirst traps.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
much. We really
much.
appreciate it. All right. Bye. Stop. Get the fuck away from me, you bitch. No, you're not. Stop. I'm already going to stop it. I'm going to edit this out. Stop. Fat man, stop. You're sick.